Thank you for watching. In this short video I want to explain very briefly the difference between a brief specification, a brief patent specification, and a detailed patent specification. Which one is better? I get this question quite a bit from some of my new clients, so I want to address it in a short video, and I hope this helps. As you can see, I'm going to use these visual aids here, these building blocks, and I hope that will help understand this concept very easily. I am told often by some of my new clients that they read somewhere or they heard that having a patent specification that is brief as opposed to detailed is better because somehow that will result in a stronger patent at the end. I disagree with that, and I think that strategy will fail, and at minimum it's very risky most of the time. I think a specification, a patent specification, should be instead detailed for the following reasons. Let's say the inventor invented a device like representing this by these 4 sets of building blocks. He invented a device in 4 different variations, and he realized by his research and development that all of these variations could work equally well to solve the problem he identified. In that case, I think all of these 4 variations should be described in the specification in coordination, of course, with the drawings to explain these variations very well in the specification. Why is that? Because first, reason number 1, there is a full description requirement according to US patent law, which means that the inventor has the obligation to demonstrate to the patent office that he is in possession of the invention, meaning that he knows how it works, how it has to be built, and so on. So that's one reason why details have to be presented in the patent specification for all of these variations. The reason number 2 is that there is what is called an enablement requirement. The inventor has to demonstrate to the patent office that he provided sufficient information, sufficient details about his invention in the specification in order to enable one of our skills in the art. And that could be a mechanical engineer if we are talking about a mechanical device, or it could be a doctor if we are talking about a medical device. The specification has to provide sufficient details to enable that person of ordinary skills in the art to consult the specification in coordination with the drawings and to be able to build and make and use that device based on the information provided in the patent specification. Another reason, that will be the 3rd reason to provide details, is because let's say during the examination of the patent application, the examiner finds prior art against this particular variation. These 4 variations of the device could be also the 4 claims of the patent. Let's say that during the examination of the patent application, the examiner does a prior art search, and he finds prior art against this particular variation, which is recited in one of the patent claims. The examiner says, I found something that is exactly the same or very similar, so this claim is not novel or is obvious over the prior art I found. The patent owner may think about maybe amending this claim by adding an additional limitation represented by this green building block to distinguish over the prior art that the examiner found, to say, hey, I have now a different claim, it's different than the prior art you found, I believe this is patentable. The examiner may say, okay, fine, that's true, but when you presented the specification, you failed to describe this particular variation in detail. Will be sufficient to enable one of our ordinary skills in the art to make and use this variation. Or the examiner may say you failed to provide sufficient details to support this claim in the sense of demonstrating that the inventor was in possession of this variation as well. So because you you fail to provide sufficient details in the specification, you may lose the right, the opportunity to have this claim allowed by the examiner, even though it distinguishes over the prior art. So this amendment that could have worked will fail now because there were no sufficient details in the specification to support this amendment, to support this additional element of this claim and support this particular variation of the device that you now want to claim, because claiming this variation, which of course is a broader claim, it failed because the examiner found similar or the exact prior art. So again, why you should provide detailed specification in most cases. Number one, to meet the full description requirement, which means the inventor has to demonstrate that he is in possession of the invention. Number two, to fulfill the enablement requirement, meaning the inventor enables one of all his skills in the art to consult the specification and the drawings and be able to make and use the invented device in this case. And third, the third reason is that you may need to amend the claims later on in the prosecution phase of the application, and having sufficient details will provide you the support that you need for those amendments that you may need to do in order to distinguish the prior art found by the examiner. I hope this helps. Thank you for watching.